Hi, welcome to Using Meeting Mapper, one of the three solutions included with Strategy Mapper. As you can see, I'm in an opportunity and I'm going to create a new meeting. The steps to create a new meeting are the same if you create a meeting in account, contact, campaign, case, or lead. The procedure and steps are the same. As you can see, I'm in this opportunity and I'm going to create a meeting. There's two ways to create a meeting. Either a quick meeting, which means I want to meet right now, and this bypasses the screen to set the meeting up or to schedule the meeting. Or I can click in here in New Meeting in the Meeting section. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Meeting. Go ahead and give it a name. And I'm going to use the demo and presentation. As you can see, I'm already mapped or linked to the correct opportunity. However, if I say, oh no, I linked to the wrong opportunity, then I can go ahead and click on this and I can bring up the opportunities. Templates are based on the object the meeting is linked to. For example, you may see different templates in the account object, in the lead object. It all depends on where this meeting template was linked to and the meeting is linked to. Here I've got my GoToMeeting or whatever conferencing tool I'm using, and these are configurable by you, the organization. What type of meeting is it? Remote, on-site, at an executive briefing. You can start tracking this information very granularly to see where your teams are having their meetings. I have my location. I can also put a custom address. This is very useful if you use, for example, GeoPoint. Now you can start tracking where your teams are having all their meetings and could be based on the size of the deal, when's it going to close, whatever really relevant to you to be able to drive revenue. But I'm going to go ahead and use the billing address, which it pulled right from Salesforce. I have my start time, but I want to go ahead, I'm going to start it on the 5th, and it's going to be at 1 o'clock p.m. And the duration is going to be in an hour. You can have hour increments, minute increments, no repeat, just a one-time meeting. And here I have prerequisites that have been assigned to this template. So when I create a meeting with this template, I will get an email saying these are the prerequisites that should be accomplished before you have the meeting to ensure you're successful. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. This is going to bring me into my meeting page. And one of the first things you'll notice is that I already have some meeting attendees. Oh, there's my email right there telling me what my prerequisites are. They're linked back into Salesforce. So you can see that I have some folks already in the meeting. Those are people that I've already met with the last time I had a meeting linked to this opportunity. What this does, it gives you a frame of reference to start from, start your conversation from, and you're probably having the meeting with the same individuals. You can remove them, and then you can add meeting attendees, and I'll show you that. What I'd like to go over now are the buttons that are displayed in the top of the meeting page. The buttons that you see in your meetings may be different. These are based on templates. You might see more, you might see less, and you might see different buttons for functionality that you can do in the meeting. And I'll go through each one of these as we go through the meeting. Here is my meeting location, for example. I can move people around if I don't want anybody. You can have as many meeting attendees as you want. Or I can choose a table here, and let's say that I'm physically located in an office building or in a conference room with a oval table, and I can put people around it. The meeting attendees are color-coded based on their stance that you give them: for, green, against, red, blue, meeting participant, orange, undecided, or pink, a no-show. So what are you hearing when you're going through and you're talking to or have you meeting with your meeting attendees and your customers? And also has the role that you've given them for this particular opportunity and the company that they belong to. I can click on an individual right now and I can change the icon to a picture of them. I normally like using the LinkedIn picture because that's already public domain. Here on the right side, I have my meeting logistics. The opportunity it's attached to, the title, What template am I using? What type of meeting? Oh, I made a mistake. I can change it here. Start time, end time. Again, you change it here, and then you can send out new invites to your meeting attendees. You change the start time, it automatically changes the end time. Repeat, what's the location? My GoToMeeting, I just cut and paste in there. And here is at the end of the meeting, you say, well, you know what, it was a good meeting. What I want to give it a score from 0 to 100 based on what you determine is a good and productive meeting. Here are my goal objectives for the meeting itself. I can add new ones, or I can go ahead and change these if I like. Here are the fields that you can update in the opportunity. So the goal is whatever I do here, it'll update everything in the opportunity and the parent account and the contact record. So I don't have to go back into the opportunity to do, for example, the description or the stage or the amount or the opportunity type or whatever else is here. Your related list may be different because it could be some custom lists or that you guys have created. So again, this could be different right here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to click on John, for example, because I'm going to show you what you can do on the meeting attendee object. So I've got their first name, their title, their email, if they have an executive sponsor. So this is at the opportunity level. For example, if I'm meeting with the C level, I can assign my C level executive to reach out to John. Now they start the conversation at the executive level, which really helps promote and hopefully win the business. The stance is, for, against, neutral is yellow, no show, participant, and undecided. So if I choose for, you'll see that I have this. Why is this person for? What have they said or done that I'm thinking that they're going to buy the product or the solution that I'm selling? Same goes for if I say they're against. Why are they against? And if it's just not here, then I could add some additional clarification on why that person is against. I'm going to go ahead and leave them for. The level of participation and the role or roles that they're playing inside of the opportunity and individual notes about this person. And are they my primary contact in the opportunity? And I'm going to go ahead and save this. I like to save often. Again, it's just a Visualforce Apex page, so saving often makes a lot of sense. You see this yellow flag here for Lisa. This means that she's at a role and stance that could jeopardize the opportunity. And that will negatively impact your opportunity score using Opportunity Mapper. But I'm going to go ahead in here and I'm going to change Lisa's stance to 4. And she's leading with our solution and she said she'll buy. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And now you're going to see that now she's green and that flag is removed. So I'm going to go ahead and save my meeting. And let's say I want to add an attendee to the meeting. I can add anybody from my org. I can add from the customer, or for example, I can add a partner in here if they're in the meeting or they're in the opportunity with me. So I can add them very easily, or I can add a new attendee right here and they'll automatically be added to the account B2 squared in Salesforce. So I can add a new contact in the meeting. And this will take me back into the meeting. As you can see, this is already populated because I've had a meeting with them before and this is their current role and stance. Now, there's few stages to using Meeting Mapper. One is planning and scheduling the meeting and sending out the invites. The other is actually executing the meeting, and the other is follow-up. So right now I'm really in the planning and the scheduling of the meeting, and I want to send some meeting invitations out to the meeting attendees. So I click on Send Invite. I want to make sure the date and time is correct. And I want to choose, I'm just going to choose Travis, or I could choose everybody, or I could even send to somebody, for example, my manager that's not in the meeting, letting him know that there is a meeting and he'll get the invite. I can also attach a file. I could add additional emails right here and information in the email. And I could even create an agenda and send it as part of the email invite. So I'm going to go ahead and click Send. And in a second here, I'll get a invite. It's just an ICS file. I click on it and it adds it to my calendar, whether you're using Outlook, Gmail, or any other mail that supports the ICS file. And there you see it right here. So now I've scheduled my meeting. I've sent my invites. Now it's the day of the meeting. You can either do the meeting either on your laptop or in Salesforce One. We are Salesforce One enabled. Or you can take your notes like you usually do and then come back and input them into Salesforce. Whatever you're comfortable doing, Meeting Mapper is very easy to use. So let's say that I'm in my meeting and I can take some notes. Now what you'll notice here is that I've got notes from my previous meeting. So even if I wasn't the person that did the initial meeting, maybe I'm taking over this opportunity because the account rep left, I have as much information as that individual that started this opportunity. I can look at their notes. I can look at all their actionable intelligence. Everything is saved in Strategy Mapper. I've got my public notes and my internal notes from the previous meeting. Here are the notes that I can take right here. So public notes are only meant for everybody that attended the meeting. There's no harm in showing anybody this information. Internal notes could be based on the template, could have questions that you might want to ask. And these are intended only for the account team. And you would have to try really hard to send these internal notes to somebody other than the account team. We almost make it almost impossible to do. And I could save the notes as a doc in Word if I wanted also. So I could take my notes, maybe best practice is to leave this notepad up and maybe collapse the backward page and just start taking all your notes like you normally would in any other kind of application. So I'm going to put here just some notes. And I'm going to save it. Now, here I have my actionable intelligence. This is getting some very detailed information very quickly and easily. And it's all structured data, or 99% structured, so I can run reports on it. And what you'll notice here is I've already had some things filled in from the last time I had the meeting in this opportunity. So every time you start a meeting, you don't have to start from scratch. We already have the basic information, or the information that you put in there in order to continue the conversation and to close the business faster than your competitors. So I've got the decision date, the project date, is it budgeted? A project is budgeted, yes, no. Anywhere where you see these types of drop downs, pick list, those are configurable by your organization based on what is important in assisting you into driving revenue. So if I choose something here, it'll add it. And if I have another meeting, it'll be in here. Now I can remove it and of course it wouldn't show up. But this really helps me to move this opportunity along. So I found out the actions coming out of the meeting, some open issues if there's any. What are the drivers, business drivers and technical drivers? Right here. Customer requirements. Very key. Because if you don't meet the customer requirements, why are you doing the opportunity? So I'm going to go in here and I might want a new requirement. And the new requirement is supports field teams and inside sales. So I can put a comment in here. Yeah, we sure do. And what is our solution? So we're drawing this from the product list in Salesforce. And I'm going to say Strategy Mapper is our choice here. I've got vendor. This is 100 from a numbering or a scoring perspective. I can bring a partner in and they could fulfill it and I get 100. We meet the requirement, 100. Partially meet is 50. On the roadmap is 25 and do not meet is 0. But I'm going to say we meet this requirement. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. And you can see, I'll show you where this score becomes very important. Competitors. Who are my competitors in this opportunity? So I'm identifying them. And if I go in here and click New, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose Acme, because we already have a strength and weakness identified with this competitor, one or more, we will go ahead and pre-populate this for you based on the information if they're related to an opportunity. Right here. What are the pain points of the customer? And you'll see right here, Peridot, marketing automation, we do integrate with Peridot. So I can add some more here again, free form if I wanted to. Here are your strengths, your weaknesses. You can go in here and add one if you've identified one. Maybe the reference for the customer. I'm going to save it. Here are the obstacles that you can encounter or are encountering. Here are the objections. And here are the why buys. Again, very easy to do, and whatever you capture in this meeting, you'll be able to see in subsequent meetings. Go ahead and save it, and done. Actionable intelligence is very, very powerful. Let's say that during the meeting, I have a task. So I can assign myself or anybody else in my organization a task. So I'm going to give it a new task right here, and I need to send pricing. And I need to send pricing to John. So I can go in here, type in John, put the due date. When do I want that date done? I want it by the 12th. It's in progress. And right here, send new pricing. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So what happens is, what happened here? Well, if I go into John, John is my contact. It's assigned to me. It's already put on my Salesforce calendar, and I will get an email with this particular task or event so I can put it on my calendar, and it's already placed on my Salesforce calendar. And I can update here, and it will update in Salesforce, and these are basically your statuses. So let's say during the meeting, I'm finding out some information about the org chart. So I can realign the org chart of the company or my attendees in real time by just dragging and dropping. And I can also see the stance of the individuals last time that I met with them, if I've met with them before. If I haven't met with somebody, they would be gray in the org map. I can add an attachment right here. Again, I can add a goal or objective if I wanted to right here. And then when I'm done, I can send out the meeting export. So let's say I'm completed my meeting, but I want to update a field and I'm no longer prospecting. I'm in qualification of the opportunity. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. And that automatically saves it and updates the opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the meeting is completed. This is very important when you're using it with Account Mapper or Opportunity Mapper. This is the trigger to update your plan. And I'll show you that here in a second. So I completed. I may want to score it. You know what? Pretty good meeting. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now what I want to do is I want to send the notes out to meeting attendees. So I click on Export Report. You can send export public or private. Private with chatter. Export settings is basically the color and the size of the font. But that can be done at a global perspective also. Send the public report and send the private. Before I send it, I like to look at it. So I'm going to send, just look at the public report. Again, here is just some basic information. Nothing here is going to get me in trouble when I send it to the customer. However, my boss, she knows I was in a meeting and she wants that detailed information. So I look at the private report, and this is basically everything that happened inside of this meeting. Even the last meeting I had, it still has that information. So there's no reason why she should call me back and say, hey, what happened in the meeting? She has the same amount of information that I do. And then again, if I just want to email it after I've looked at it, I want to email it to everybody, the public. As you can see here, I've got everybody's email. You'll see this, I just got a follow-up task. With Meeting Mapper, I can create follow-up tasks linked to a template. So one could be after 1 day, send an email. So I will get these tasks automatically generated from the template and emailed to me and put on my Salesforce calendar. Very, very powerful right here. So I just want to maybe send it to, again, back to the export. I just want to send it to everybody or individuals. So you can see that I see Lisa's address and John and myself, or I can send it to anybody else. So that is the public. Now, the private, what you'll notice is we strip all email addresses other than the parent organization email address. So there's no way, unless you just maliciously want to send the private report to individuals outside of your team, for example. So I'm all done with my meeting. But let's say, hey, I want to go in here and I want to update my opportunity mapper or see how the plan is progressing. So I can click on Opportunity Mapper. It's going to bring me into my plan if you're using it. And you'll notice here I've got some information, my buying process, the milestones. The good thing here is I also have my account score. So my account score now is 41, and I've got a pretty good solution score of 100. So this is tracking really well from an opportunity perspective. And then we also updated the playbook in real time. So now you'll know exactly what's going on in the opportunity and how you can go ahead and improve your score in winning the opportunity against your competitors. So that's Opportunity Mapper. Just wanted to show you that real quick. So here, back to Meeting Mapper. And I want to go back into the opportunity and I'll show you what we do with all this information. So I go back into the opportunity. And you can see now that we have updated the stage. We've got our new score. Here's the meetings. Here's the activity. Send thank you email. That's open activity. Activity history. My contact roles. If we had any partners. And my competitors automatically added to the opportunity. And notes and attachments. So it's a single input, multi-output of Meeting Mapper that really drives the ability to have more time to sell. You don't have to go back in or do a lot of different things. You could already be on your other customers and your meetings. Another very powerful aspect of Meeting Mapper is the report. Again, somebody quits an opportunity or leaves the company, you've got to be able to close the deal in the same amount of time as an individual that started the opportunity. Sometimes it's very difficult. So right here is I can print up the report, get on an airplane, take some few minutes to read it, and when I set foot in that customer, I've got the same information that the person who started this opportunity has. We call it disaster recovery for sales, basically business continuity. So I have the same amount of information. I can take that. It's very, very powerful. The only ones that do this, by the way. And I have a timeline and see how people's buying personas change over time in the meeting, and when people come in the meeting, when people go out, and how the meeting is progressing or the opportunity is progressing. So there's a lot more to Meeting Mapper. I just showed you some of the basic functions of the meeting page. And in the other two videos, you saw Account Mapper and Opportunity Mapper and how everything works together or independently. That's some of the power of Strategy Mapper. So if you have any questions, please contact us at www.pointintime.com and have a great day.